Welcome to this week's Speaking of Light podcast. We are here with Dr. Shelly Jo Wallstrom. I just found out that you just got your PhD.
I did, just about a month ago.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of set this up a little bit different. So Shelly Jo, I met through Jenny Lynn, one of our RNs. So how this came about, I was, for 20-ish something years, having a really hard time getting a full night's sleep. And before, it really wasn't a big deal for me, right? Because I just wake up and, well, I just wake up. But what started happening 2, 3, 4 months ago, I would wake up usually at 3:33 every morning. That was a weird part too, on the nose. But then I would start having, if I was having a bad dream, I would be living in that dream, and I would be in an anxietal state, if that's a word. It wasn't good. And it was just difficult for me. And I was really having a lot of problems. And so I go to Jenny Lynn and I'm like, listen, this is what's happening, right? She's like, we're looking at these amino acids, right? Come fill out this questionnaire that I think we got from you, right? So I'm like, okay, right? Okay, I'll try. Mostly because I was like a Hail Mary. I mean, I'll pretty much do anything if I can get a good night's sleep. So I did the questionnaire, took the which one?
Tryptophan.
That one, right? I only know because it's the same stuff that's in turkeys.
Yeah, that's it. Yep, it's in turkeys.
And do you know? Dang. I got a good night's sleep for the first time in, I don't know, 2.5 decades. Legit. I woke up in the morning like, did this just happen? Like the sun is up and I'm waking up? So, amino acids work. So then we bring them in, and the patients are taking them. You just heard the story, right? So, Dr. Shelly Jo, you've got a story yourself.
I do.
I want us to go back to, if I remember, and by the way, we met at this conference we were both at up in Ohio recently, right? And I heard a snippet. I walked in. You had a child that was addicted. Let's talk about that from a mother's perspective, right? What happened?
Tony, it's so crazy because I was talking to my daughter the other day and I said, it feels so surreal. And I have to remind myself, did it happen? And was it really as bad as I remember it? Because now we're on the other side. And I remind myself, yes.
It was that bad.
It was really a bad thing. When you're, as a mother, you'll go to the depths of hell for your child. I didn't realize what the depths of hell meant until I was in it.
Hold on a second. Or is this one of those situations where your child, a son or a daughter?
Daughter.
Is out there.
Yeah.
On the streets. You have no idea where she is. What's going on? I mean, is it like that?
Almost. Yes. We'll go back and start from where it starts. I'm the mother of 3 daughters. My youngest, at age 6, was diagnosed with anxiety. And I said, it's okay. Well, what do? Well, we put her on some medication and take her to counseling.
From the doctors.
Yes, because at the time, that was all I knew, right? And I thought, okay, I'm a mom. I've done everything I can. She's on this medication and she's going to these doctors until age 15. At 15, she came to me in tears and said, Mom, I am tired of being a doctor's science project. And these are the 6 words that broke my heart. I just want to feel normal. I mean, how many times have you ever thought that? I just want to feel normal. And I thought, but wait, we're doing everything we can.
Why we're doing everything that the doctors are
Right.
telling us.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know there was an option.
Hold on a sec. Were there any side effects from the meds that they were giving her that you did not know of, or that you did see, or did she come back and tell you? Because just want to be normal, there must have been some side effects.
Well, she just, we got into it because she had this high anxiety, and it wasn't working. I mean, I thought it was. I mean, it took the edge off a little bit, but she was still really hard. From 6 to 15, she was very challenging as her mom, but I didn't realize that the underlying problem was that she had anxiety. She was very much an empath. She didn't understand these things when she was little. And so at age 15, she turned to the only thing that felt better because she was a teenager. So she's out experiencing different things, and she turns to alcohol and marijuana. And it made no sense to me because I'm like, wait a minute, you're going to ruin your life. It wasn't a world I knew anything about, and I thought I could ground her enough, or I could love her enough. And yet I couldn't get her away from it. And the hard part about this, Tony, is that she was actually getting it from her friends' parents. So I felt like a salmon swimming upstream because I'm wanting to keep her safe, but yet her friends' parents are the ones that are giving it to her.
One step forward, 5 steps back.
Yeah. Constantly. And the challenge is where her friends could take it or leave it, some of them. For her, it became, my brain needs this.
To survive.
To survive, right? And so I helped her get through high school because she was not going to.
Wait. Doing her homework for her.
I wouldn't quite say that, but doggone it, I was.
She's going to get through, come hell or high water.
She's going to do this because I'm like, if I can't do anything with her else, but I'm going to get her to get that high school diploma.
Yeah.
Right? She got into the juvenile system. She got picked up for having paraphernalia. Didn't know I'd have to go through that system. She did some shoplifting. She stole alcohol from her boss. And it was just like this revolving cycle of, come on, girl, get your life together. You're so bright and you're so smart, and stop doing this, right?
Because don't you see what you're doing?
Yeah. Don't you see it?
Yeah.
Can you see what you're doing to yourself? So she got through high school. Yay, we graduated. Yay, awesome. And I'm like, okay, so let's take care of this now, before it gets worse. She turned 18. Then by that time she was almost 19, and I'm like, okay, let's start out clean. Let's put you in a rehab program.
There's a plan.
And so much money. Probably, I think it cost me over $24,000.
Okay, wait, hold on. If you're watching this podcast and you're a parent, what you're experiencing, about to put yourself in or have a child, whatever the case may be, this is so common. And unfortunately, I'm going to tell you that 95% of the facilities that are out there are going to be what you're about to describe. Yeah. So go.
Absolutely. And it was actually in a hospital.
Okay.
So I thought this would be
hospital.
Great. So a hospital should be taken care of. Should come out clean.
Was it here in Utah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Was it in Ogden?
Yep. Yes. And so
I know the hospital.
She did 30 days. And
okay, wait. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back.
Okay.
She started using these drugs and things at the age of 15.
Right.
Right? And she's how old now when you find him? 18?
19.
19. So we're 4 years into her drug career, because that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
So, been doing it for 4 years. Now, here's the part that really pisses me off, right? Doing drugs for 4 years. And by the way, this is indicative. I don't care if it's 4 years or 40 years. They're going to go into this program for 30 days.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's just use a little bit of common sense for a sec. You think you're going to get her figured out in 30 days?
Well, that's what I thought, right?
Yeah, because they're professionals.
Yeah, that's what you thought, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, at that point...
Well, was this residential?
Yes.
She lived there, okay.
Yep, residential.
Because they have They have detox residential, and I think they
Yeah.
have outpatient as well. But go ahead.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
I was willing to do anything. I thought, I don't want her to, I want her to be able to move forward, right? Be clean and be done. And she did. She came out clean from alcohol and marijuana, but she came out addicted to sugar, caffeine, and tobacco. So she went from this extreme to the other. So really what she was doing is just not using for 30 days.
Well, but oftentimes somebody in that situation will not just, you said sugar, tobacco, and what was the other one?
Caffeine.
Caffeine. Oftentimes it's meth or heroin as well, because they're in these confined spaces. Oftentimes their roommates will turn them on to something a little bit more sinister than. I'm not taking away from any of those things you mentioned, right? But it can sometimes get worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So at the time she did, she came out clean from this. And that's when I thought, in my nativity, we did it. We beat addiction. Woohoo!
Yeah, yeah.
Right? You can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can, yes, right? And then 30 days later, she was introduced to meth through her roommate she met in the recovery center.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Just not when
exactly.
they were in there.
Not
They
when they were in
became
there.
they
Yep.
remained friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Let's
that
see
was
you on
her
the
drug.
other side. When we get out, we'll still be friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And
So now it's meth.
now it's meth. Okay. And meth is a drug of the devil. It changes every part of a person. I could just see it. I mean, it was just like, I became afraid of my daughter.
But it's because it wasn't your daughter.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. It was not my daughter. And I believe that. Absolutely, Tony. And it was super scary.
So this goes from 19 to.
At that point, we are about 21, 20.
So
now
she's 21. She gets introduced to meth.
Ish. Yep.
And how long did you do that?
So several years. So yeah. No, yeah, that was way fun. Whew. And it was, I mean, fear is fear, right? But fear of knowing, I mean, I could watch her on my phone when she'd leave. She didn't know I had her phone figured out, right? Because my fear was, Tony, I'd lose her. That she would not come home and I couldn't find her.
So that's a valid fear,
Yeah.
because so many, countless, literally, I'm not exaggerating. So many countless parents do lose
Yes.
their child.
Right.
I mean, this is an all too common occurrence.
Yeah. Every time she left my house, I was in fear. Yep. Yeah. And in a pine box, yes. I was afraid that she would kill herself, kill somebody else, hurt me, or end up in jail. And you know, the crazy thing, at the time she didn't have money, but she had a car. And the way she was getting her drugs is that she was the one that would drive down to the homeless shelter in Salt Lake City, pick up the drugs from the people in the homeless shelter, and then she'd distribute them. And then she'd get some of her drugs from, that was how she was getting them. She didn't make money. Yeah. Yep. She didn't make money. She just got to have some of the meth when they brought it to her. Right? And it was, the fear was palatable to not know how to stop her.
Wait, why didn't you just go to the rule book?
The rule book?
Yeah.
What rule was that?
I'm
I must
being
have missed
smart.
that rule book.
Well, so, and the point is, there is no rule book.
There are no rules, Tony. You're
There's
right.
nowhere for you to go. There's no
No.
resource for you to go and say, hey, what do we do here?
Right.
Right? Because you're not going to go back to those good doctors,
No.
because they obviously don't know what the hell they're doing. I know that sounds horrible, but if your daughter goes into a facility in this capacity, whatever the problem is, however that problem is, right? I'm going to suggest to you they don't know what they're doing. And look, I had no idea how I graduated from high school. So they're going to say, well, you've got no learned degree.
Right.
You've gotten, how do you know? How are you, they're going to say, how are you going to say this to me? Well, here's what I'm going to say. If my child, I could be speaking for you, comes in this capacity, and this is a list of the problems that she has now, okay? If when she comes out of your facility, she has these problems, and then a short time after, she has this big problem that she didn't have before.
Right.
Right? I'm going to tell you that you're full of shit, whatever program you are. And I'm not going to say the name of the hospital, right? Because we
Right.
use them for detox. But I damn sure let them know when we go, because the detox is one thing, but you're talking about she actually lived there.
Right.
Yeah. There's no way. I'm not a fan of residential, and this is exactly why. For this reason. Now, you're going to say, well, we can have this problem in outpatient, which is what we do at Beacon. This is true, but I'm going to cite you to my numbers. Go to my website, 10.42%, meaning we have an 89% success rate. People aren't doing what your daughter has done.
Right.
Right. So now, and that was just a little plug for Beacon, by the way, because our system really does work.
Yeah.
That right there, if your system, whatever you're doing, people come out worse, it's almost, to me, like you almost want them to have problems. We'll call that job security.
Yeah.
Does it, I mean, they don't like hearing these things, but what else can it be?
Right. Right. It doesn't make.
Because if whatever you're doing, well, by the way, wherever you are, and if there's a facility owner that's listening to my voice, what are your numbers? Right? Do you even know what your numbers are? Meaning, what is your success and or failure rate?
Right.
Because I'm going to suggest to you that whatever you're doing is giving you this type of result, perhaps you should be looking at doing things a little bit differently, or in a lot of cases, a lot differently. Okay, so you're now searching. And by the way, at this moment, you're not the amino acid queen.
I'm not. I am just mom. I am just a mom who is
Desperate.
desperate, and I trying to find some help for my daughter.
Yeah.
And the resources are very slim. The cost is super expensive. That was not her only rehab
Did you
center.
pay cash for that?
We did. Yeah.
What's that pop you about 20, 25, 30?
$24,000.
How much?
24.
For 30 days.
Yep. And I actually borrowed money from my daughter, my other daughter, so that we had the money to pay for it.
Okay, so here we go. Not trying to beat a dead horse, but what we're doing is making a problem that we have even worse, because now you are financially strapped
Right.
to make this happen,
Mm-hmm.
making the parent deal with undue stress that didn't need to have happen.
Right.
Borrowing money from people to pay for this treatment, $24K. But didn't I just hear you say that wasn't the only time you did this? Did you go to a facility someplace else afterwards?
Yeah, we did. She actually went through 7 treatment centers. So after the first one, then her insurance started to help her, so we did a different one. And that one was, I think our pocket was like $5,000.
The reason what she's talking about now is if somebody has insurance, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts, most insurance, except for Medicaid, they have what's known as deductibles and out-of-pocket deductibles.
Mm-hmm.
The facility is telling you, we can treat your child, however, you must meet this deductible, or the out-of-pocket, which in this case was $5,000, right?
Right.
Which is less of a sting than $24K.
Yeah.
Did you borrow more money to make that happen?
That one, no, we paid
This was facility number 2.
facility number
How
2.
long after facility number 1 did you go to facility number 2? Approximately.
I don't remember the time frame.
Well, I guess
Doesn't make
where I'm
sense.
going with this is, dang.
Yeah,
Right.
dang.
Okay, so we're gonna skip through all 7 facilities,
Right,
and you're ready to pull your hair out.
right.
Is that when you come across the aminos? 'Cause
So,
you start doing some research, I think, right?
well, I didn't, yeah, the first thing the reason why she kept going through more and more rehab problems is because she ended up in jail.
Well,
So-
no, that's actually not true.
Well,
The
we-
reason she went is because they didn't work,
They didn't work, right, but she'd go to jail,
which would
get out.
probably save her life.
yes.
Yes.
So, and it still makes sense to me because it's like, okay, get out of jail. My thought is, okay, you got another start all over. Yay, right? And yet, I'd watch this cycle. She'd white knuckle it, and I believe, Tony, that she'd say, Mom, I'm gonna stay clean. And I believed her, and I believe that she believed it.
She did.
She was just white knuckling. I can do this,
Yes.
I can do this, I can do this. Until I can't. And then I relapse, and I end up in jail. And it wasn't until the 4th time that I thought, what is it about addiction I don't understand? This does not make sense. And I also had, as a hypnotherapist, I had clients who would come to me and I'd work with them and I was like, yay, that was awesome. And then they come back the next week and I was like, hadn't done anything. So I work with again, I call them 51st dates because it was like, I don't know what was happening at the time, but I kept thinking there's something chemically also missing in their mind that's not allowing this great work to hold.
What great work?
The hypnotherapy work.
Hypnotherapy.
Yeah, hypnotherapy.
Okay.
So getting to the root of the problem, the emotions, right?
The root of the
The root of the problem.
You talk fast, just like I do. Right?
I do.
So I'm going to encourage you to just try to talk a little bit slower because I do the same thing.
I know.
Right? Sometimes it's hard for me to understand. So
I get so excited.
I know. Okay, so now the root.
The root of the problem.
Yeah.
So I had them, and I had my daughter that was struggling. And so I did the only thing I could do at that time, Tony. I prayed. I said, Heavenly Father, please give me an answer. I don't want to lose my daughter.
Now, this prayer, sometimes when you, in the winter, it's really cold, right? And you get to bed, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I forgot to say my prayer. But the bed is warm. So you roll out of bed, and it's chilly in your room. And that prayer is like, you're kind of just going through the motions prayer because you're really tired.
Right.
The prayer you're talking about that you just described, it wasn't that prayer. This one was a heart thumping, like pleading.
It
in
was.
fact, like, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, please,
Okay.
I don't want to lose my daughter.
So did you get an answer to your prayer?
I did. 2 days later, they were doing a consumer report talking about a rehab center in somewhere in Utah, I don't remember, that was using specific amino acids in the recovery center through an IV to feed the neurotransmitters. I didn't even know what that was at the time. But what they found is after 3 days, the cravings started to go away, and after 10 days, they were almost completely gone. And they had an 85% rate of recovery. And I'm like, that is my answer. But it was $1,000 a day. So I said, can I have a different answer, please?
How many times have we done that?
Yeah, it's like,
Like-
thanks, but wait.
Can I have a plan B? Because
You
this
know?
one, yeah.
So my thought was, okay, I can go to the health food store. I'll go buy a whole bunch of amino acids. And maybe it'll take longer than 3 days, but maybe a month, maybe it'll help her to start
So
feeling
wait,
better.
hold on a second. If I got this I'm visualizing. I don't know if you guys are visualizing. What I'm visualizing is you going to the store, amino, and just try to grabbing a bunch of amino. You don't even care if it says amino acid, you're going to take it.
Well, yeah, I was going to go buy all these amino acids, right?
Yeah.
And luckily, I have a friend who's a nurse, and he said to me, because I call him, I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy all these amino acids. I'm going to give them to her.
Yeah.
How much do I give her? And he's like, you can't just throw amino acids at people. You need to understand them. Good point. So I did the second best thing. Dear Dr. Google, find me a recovery center that is using the amino acid supplements instead of the IVs
Yeah.
in their recovery.
Yeah.
And I Googled and I found one in Florida. And I called the owner, which was Lyle Freed, the one that we talked about, we met at the conference.
Okay.
And I said, look, this is the deal. I have my clients who are struggling. My daughter is struggling with addiction. What can you teach me about amino acid therapy? And he said, I can teach you everything you need to know. Within 2 weeks, we're having a training in Salt Lake City, which is 30 miles from my home, where you'll go and learn everything.
What a coincidence.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Wow. Odd,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, no. I said, thank you. That's when I recognized.
Yeah. That's
Definitely.
There's no such thing as a coincidence.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
And so it was at that conference that I went to, and I learned about the brain and about how we've got these really cool chemicals called neurotransmitters. They're your dopamine, which your energy, your drive, your focus. You've got serotonin, which is your positive mind, your confidence. You've got your endorphins, which make you happy. You have GABA in the body, which physically relaxes you. And your blood sugar makes a difference. It was brilliant. It's so simple that I actually got angry. I was so mad, Tony, because I thought, wait a minute. This information has been out since the end of
Forever?
the 80s,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Why did I not hear this when my daughter was 6? Because had I known it when she was 6 and I could have fed her brain.
Here's the thing I'm going to suggest to you is why didn't that place that you went the very first place or the second or the third, right? Why?
Right.
Well, and I'm going to give you the answer. As a facility owner, I'm going to tell you why, right? Because these amino acids cost money,
Right.
right?
Right.
And, well, if I'm a facility owner and I've got to spend money on those amino acids, how do I make money? Oh, I can't make money. So if I can't make money and I'm going to lose money, I'm not going to do it. Or maybe I really don't want people to be successful because if they are, then they won't come back.
Right.
I know that sounds insidious, but it is in fact the truth.
It is the truth. And there's no money in amino acids. So pharmaceutical companies are not able to make money off of amino acids.
Well, you and I don't know who was it that we listened to, which we already knew.
Right.
Not only can the pharmaceutical companies not make any money off the amino acids, it gets a lot more problematic to the sense that they know that the amino acids work, meaning all their crap, all their poisons that are coming from these big drug companies will become non-existent. Because why would I take all those pharmaceutical, whatever,
Right.
that have side effects that don't really work, but work temporarily or kind of, sort of, give you just enough to where we're kind of managing versus taking the amino acids that, I mean, just flat out work.
Right.
Right?
Flat out work.
Flat out work.
Oh, you're right. It
Yeah.
even makes me angry to think about, it's the best kept secret, Tony. This has been out for, how many years is
Forever.
that? 40
Yeah, yeah.
years?
Yeah.
Whatever?
Yeah.
And yet we're still just,
It's tipping the tip of the iceberg.
yeah, people still don't know about them. And I got angry. And I used that anger to move me forward because I'm like,
motivate you.
I
Yeah.
want to get this information out. I want to help that mom who has a 6-year-old who is struggling just like my daughter.
So, okay, let's talk about that for a sec. Because right now you are a doctor.
Yes.
How's that feel to come off your tongue?
It's amazing.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor, yep.
So someone can take amino acids at any age?
Absolutely.
So if I got a 4-year-old that the doctor's wanting to prescribe whatever nonsense, Adderall or Ritalin or whatever, I don't even know because I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on
Right.
TV and I don't even know. But as you go to wherever you go, and how dare you say this, right, by the way, you go to wherever you go and your child is acting out, getting in trouble at school, whatever the case may be, and the doctor says, well, let's put them on what?
Yeah.
That.
Ritalin.
Okay, that. So you're suggesting before you do that, and here's what I'm going to suggest, and tell me if I'm off my rocker. How about you just try some amino acids? Just give it a go. The worst thing that could happen is your child could be, well, right where your child is right now.
Right.
I mean, literally, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. Agreed?
Agree.
Can the child take too much of the amino acids and OD? Like they can
No.
with the other crap that's being prescribed. Because if you're prescribed Ritalin or Adderall, whatever that pill you're giving your child to get them to settle down, if you give that child too much of that shit,
Yeah.
you're going to have some massive problems. You could actually kill your child. So if your child, right, happens to wander into the medicine cabinet, open
Right.
that thing up and suck them pills down, there's a good chance that child could die. Let's switch over to amino acids. They suck the entire bottle down. The body will just use whatever it needs, and the rest of it will just go right through.
Right.
Sound about right? Okay. So now what you're saying to me is we can solve these problems from a very early age, because what we're talking about now means, for me, we got that 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old child.
Right.
By the way, what's your daughter's name?
Angeli.
Angeli. Angeli's now 6. If Angeli would have taken amino acids at the age of 6, there's a really, really good chance that all that other bullshit you just described to me
Yeah.
would have never happened. All the money you spent, all the time, all the sleepless nights that you and your husband experienced, all that
Right.
big ball of, I look at it like What's the one with the Charlie Brown? There's a character in I don't know what it's called. The Charlie Brown people, those characters. What are they called? There's a
Cartoons, like,
well,
are you talking about who they are?
well, no. There's Charlie Brown is
Yeah.
part of a group of individuals
Right.
that has a name. Forgot what they're called. Right? Those people. One of those characters on that show or whatever it is, right, is the kid that's got the black cloud hanging
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, the black cloud. Yep.
That's what this is.
It is.
And what amino acids do is just dispel that cloud of, and you can just look at that and know that it's just a big ball of ugh,
Yeah. It's
Right.
low serotonin.
right?
The black cloud is low serotonin.
So we can stop the madness
Right.
from almost the very beginning. So once again, I'm going to go back. What's the worst that could happen? You could try amino acids. Your child will be exactly where your child is right now, and you've not lost anything. Oh, and by the way, as expensive as we think amino acids are, it's a hell of a lot less expensive than the alternative,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
So, wow. So we can actually change so many. The ripple is mind-boggling,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? Right?
Yeah.
So now your lot in life is to provide amino acids to people.
Yeah. Share this information. And the cool thing, Tony, is I tell people, first of all, I'm not a medical doctor. I have my PhD. And I'm not saying that. I like my doctor, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not against doctors. And so this is not an either or, it's an and. So if I'm to start with, because if somebody's already on medication, I'm not saying stop this to do this. I'm saying let's work together to raise the brain using the amino acids, and if they're on something else, so that then you have a choice. So that as your brain starts to be firing and it's becoming balanced, the need for the medication goes down, and then you get to choose. Do I just want to be on the amino acids? Or am I going to at least not need as much? Does that make sense?
It does. If I'm understanding what you're saying to me correctly, the amino acids is not a lifelong sentence.
No.
Once you take the amino acids and it does what it does with the brain, the neuroplasticity, if you will,
Right.
right? Once that happens in a minute, you don't even have to take amino acids anymore. Those days are in your rearview mirror. Versus going to the doctor month after month, after month, after year of taking these pills. And eventually saying, well, you know, case perfect example, when I was trying to figure out a way to sleep, I was prescribed Ambien. I slept
Ooh.
throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah. I slept. The doctor had no intention of stopping me taking Ambien at all, right? Really.
Right.
The reason I stopped taking Ambien is because of what I was experiencing, the side effects, right?
Oh, yeah.
But those doctors are, you know, I don't love my doctor at all. I believe that my doctor in every hospital on planet Earth isn't there to make us well. I know that sounds horrible. I believe it's there to make them money. Because if we're all well, then that place is not going to make, well, money.
Right.
I just, you know, and I'm not saying that there's not some good doctors and nurses out there. That's not what I'm saying to you. Is I'm thinking or saying that the system is broken.
Absolutely.
It is broken, and it's by design, because I'm going to suggest to you it's the pharmaceutical companies that are the fat cats here.
Absolutely.
They're the ones that are just laughing all the way to the bank as they're poisoning you,
Right.
right? And they have funds set aside, like millions and millions of dollars, just waiting for when they get sued. But they're making so much money, billions of dollars on this end, for them to drop a couple million to keep you quiet as a parent that experiences whatever you experience that is right and is suing them. They can give you a couple $1,000,000 to make you sign that thing that says you're not going to tell anybody what happened here and you're going to be quiet. But you're only going to get to that place after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars of your own money suing them,
Right.
right? It's
Right.
insidious. Okay, so amino acids work. And by the way, I speak from experience personally with the sleeping story that I shared with you before.
Right.
And I also notice within me, right, there's been a shift. And personally. And of course, we're hearing about this from our patients. Our patients call these amino acids their happy pills.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. They call them the happy pills. And I understand why they're saying this. A perfect example, this morning, driving in, right, I pulled into the left lane and there was a car behind me. And she wasn't happy that I had the audacity to pull my car in front of her car.
Right.
I didn't cut her off. I just, she was coming up and I wanted to. So she honked her horns and flashed her lights in my rear view. So I rolled my window down, gave her a thumbs up. Thank you. Wave. Right? Instead of giving her this sign language, you know what I mean? Which we often do. And people are flipping me off left and right.
Right.
Only because I'm going faster than them. And I just smile. Right? Mm-hmm. And I think you could use some amino acids yourself.
Absolutely.
It makes things so much easier. Right? It's just so much easier. So that said, somebody's listening to this. How can they talk? And by the way, it's not just, take amino acids.
Right.
There's a questionnaire. It's pretty lengthy.
It is.
You answer some questions and you be honest with the questions that Shelly Jo is going to send to you, whoever you are, because we're about to get some information from you to discuss how whoever they are, right? And once again, and just so you know, I mean, I don't know, do I have like a wholesale price?
Yes.
Do I? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're not gonna save my price, right? Because I have a lot, and Beacon Recovery is paying for the amino acids for these people.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you know that?
I do. Thank you very much.
No, it wasn't my idea. Like you, I pray, right? And I listen for those answers. And one of those answers came to me, well, does this work? The amino acids? And, yes, right? So why are we here? Well, I mean, what's the purpose for us being on this planet?
Right.
Right? If they work, you've given me a really good price that makes it affordable to me to be able to pay, right, what I'm paying for 1 month for every one of these patients. It's a no-brainer.
Right.
Because unlike a lot of other facilities that are out there, I've got a different viewpoint. I don't want that person to come back. Look, I don't need that person to come back. There are so many other people out there. I'm never going to run out of customers, which is unfortunate, right? And wouldn't it be great if every facility that's out there started introducing amino acids, not so much so it can line your pocketbook, so we can put ourselves out of business. That's what
Absolutely.
I want. I want to go do something else. Really.
I do. I'm with you.
Let's go pick a different, whatever the next thing is. But until we can get a handle on this, this is where I'll be. So now, somebody's listening to this and they're probably thinking, Tony, shut up. Please let Shelly Jo, I started to say Jenny Lynn, right? Please let Shelly Jo tell us how we can go, what we can do to get amino acids, and where can that be? And say this part real slow.
Okay.
What's your website?
My website it's hypnoaminos.com.
I need you to spell everything you just said.
HYPN, like in Nancy, O, HYPNO, AM, like in money, IN, Nancy, OS, hypnoaminos.com.
Aminos, plural.
Yes.
.com.
Yes.
What is there a number that they can call possibly?
Yes. So the phone number is 801-643-3211.
Now, let me ask you this. You're giving me a price.
Right.
And I'm going to kind of throw a curveball at you. If someone calls you because they found this information on the podcast, will you give them my price? Can you do that?
I can. Yep.
You can.
I can.
So if somebody says, I found you because I watched that podcast, you're going to give them the Beacon price.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so you get to know that she actually pays me to do the amino acid. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I'll take care of them. Yes, I can do whatever I want to do because it's my business.
Well,
Right?
look, we're going to be part of the Beacon
Yes.
Co-op, whoever you are. Right?
Yep.
And the reason I know and I kind of knew, you thought about it for a sec, but I pretty much knew you would because you and I are alike the exact same way. People are suffering.
They are
And this
suffering.
answer is so simple. It's so simple, right?
Right.
This is so easy. And, I'm going to suggest to you that there's a strong possibility that there's somebody that's out there that's been praying, that's going to hear this, that's hearing it right now as they're watching it, as she's folding clothes maybe while her daughter's, whatever, right?
Right.
Who's saying, oh my gosh, wait, what was that number again? That's what she's saying. She wants you to repeat it because.
Oh, she wants me to repeat. Okay.
Yeah, she does. Well, he does, right? Well, tell me the phone. She's probably because sometimes when you write a number down,
Right.
and you didn't hear the whole thing, and you wish they would repeat it.
Oh, you repeat it. Oh, yeah, yes.
So that's what's happening right now.
Okay, perfect. It's 801-643-3211.
And once again, the website.
hypnoaminos.com.
Okay.
And that is my personal phone call. So if you call and I don't answer, just
So what we're going to
text me.
suggest is that you start with a text.
Yes, please
Right.
text me.
Text her first and say, I heard you on the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward for you to pay me to take the amino acids. Ha, ha, ha. But I'm looking forward to getting the Beacon Recovery price. And for
Perfect.
me, it was a no-brainer. And, so I told you about, I can't mention his name, but we have a patient here. We have a number of patients here. But one in particular, this young man, we actually had to ask him, he lives in one of our sober livings. We actually had to have him leave the sober living because he was being so disruptive. These outbursts, right? This is a grown man. And just saying and threatening, and it was a problem for us. So and this is before we had the aminos, right? And you got to go, so-and-so. And he was warned multiple times because he was having so many of these outbursts, whether it's at the sober living or down in the group room, right? So he gets a slice of humble pie, and I think we had to actually excuse him multiple times. Then this last time he comes back, right when we were getting ready to roll these aminos out, and so we started feeding him the aminos. And now his outbursts have all but disappeared. You heard remember when I was asking some of the staff members up, we were setting these cameras up?
Right.
Tell me about so-and-so. Remember that? And did you see the smiles on their faces, how they lit up? How this guy he's night and day. And I asked him, and I'm going to introduce you to him here in a minute, right? And you're going to see. And I asked him, so-and-so, how do you like the amino acids? And he just lights up. He calls them his happy pills, right? But now, once again, there's going to come a moment where he's not going to take those aminos anymore, and he's going to stay in this capacity. Did I
Yes.
understand that correctly? Is that how that's going to work?
Absolutely. The great thing is amino acids come from protein, right? So when we eat protein, we feed the body amino acids.
Yeah.
The problem is when you're eating food to get the amino acids, it doesn't go all to the brain. It has to digest, and it goes in the brain, the blood, all
Yeah.
the different
Yeah,
places. So you cannot raise your neurotransmitters through eating food. So we're supporting it. We're supporting our body by eating the food, but then we're coming in like a fire hydrant and we're feeding the amino acids because the brain needs extra. It's
Yeah.
not getting enough. So now we do this, we're being consistent, and then the brain needs less of it because we are supporting it with the food, and then the need for the amino acids can go down to the point where you either won't need them at all or maybe as a maintenance because then the food can continue to support the brain.
Basically, what you're saying is the aminos are priming the pump.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of you women won't understand that, but us men, we get that. You knew what I meant, though.
Yeah.
Did that sound kind of sexist? Right. But yeah, we're priming the pump. We're getting it going. Almost like when you want to siphon gas, you gotta get it going. But once you get it going and it starts to flow, then
goes.
you're going to suck that tank
Yeah.
dry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else you'd like to share?
I would, because people say, especially in the addiction world, they want there's so much there's so much blame and guilt and shame. The thing about our neurotransmitters are sometimes they become depleted for different reasons. Sometimes you're born with less of them.
Yeah.
So my little 6-year-old probably was born with less neurotransmitters than she needed. Sometimes it's lifestyle, it's diet, it's
Yep.
trauma, it's toxins. 60% of people over the age 40, the neurotransmitters have become depleted. And menopause, don't even get me started there. But all those things deplete those neurotransmitters. And so when you can look at it this way and go, wait a minute, what if I could see that I live in this imperfectly perfect body?
Yeah.
My brain's not firing what I need. It takes away that shame.
Let me tell you, and I'm not just saying this. I don't just say stuff. I'm not a small talk guy. I tell the truth. I can feel it
Right.
in me. I can feel it in my interactions with other individuals. And here's the fun part. I know that the people that I'm having interactions with, they're experiencing a side of me that I've never had before. And I can tell that their reaction and their interaction with me is a lot more on the positive side versus, wait, is this guy, because we communicate with our energy.
Right.
Right. And so they would say, yeah, this is a nice guy, but there's just something odd. I don't even know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I know that right now, right, these people that I'm talking with, strangers, people, my staff, everybody, because I'm different. I can feel it. I'm more calm, right? And my little buddy right there, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Can you see? Everybody. This is Rocky. This is his podcast debut. Right? He was a little nervous, right? Before we got started, but I think he's calmed down a little bit, right?
He was just excited.
Yeah. Well, he was nervous because he was going to go on a podcast.
That's true.
Right? And so,
Didn't think about that.
but now did I give him some aminos? I'm kidding. So,
Hey, don't laugh. I've given dogs amino acids to calm them down.
nuh-uh.
Yeah. Tryptophan. Yeah. Tryptophan.
Shut the front
GABA.
door. For real?
Yeah. So when dogs are uptight and they're struggling. Yeah.
So if I'm going to
Tryptophan
take him on a plane with me, I can stuff an amino acid down his throat or whatever,
open it up, put it in his food.
Yeah, I got made fun of because he gets an egg every morning and he gets pumpkin puree in the evening, right? Mm-hmm. So I can just mix the aminos in
Fit
that.
in there.
And he's going to be, even though he's a pup, it'll...
Yeah, you just
Okay,
give him
so
a little bit.
I'm today years old when I recognize that we could give amino acids to our pets.
Absolutely.
And it won't harm them in any way?
Nope. The only thing that could harm them is if they have, maybe like I used to have a tablet that had xylitol and sorbitol in it.
Okay.
That I couldn't give to dogs, but now my products don't have that in there anymore.
Okay, so I want to end with this, right? I think. If you're taking this, then we're going to go back to the humans, right? If you are currently taking any meds at all, right, you should do the questionnaire that you're going to get, right? But you need to take whatever amino acids that the questionnaire says you're supposed to take, right? Before you purchase any amino acids from Shelly Jo, take this list of amino acids. She'll send you a label with everything that's in the amino acid, and get this with your doctor. Make sure that it's not going to negatively affect you because of whatever med you're taking. Did I say that right?
I would probably go this way. I would say, meet with me, do an assessment.
Okay. What does that cost?
It's $99, $99.99.
Okay. Takes about an hour.
Yeah, it's about an hour.
Okay.
And that way we can go through and say,
Can they pay with Venmo, credit card?
however they want to pay for it.
Okay.
Yep.
Can we do this online?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's on Zoom. Yep, I do it on
Okay.
Zoom. And that way I can say to them, I can look at what they're doing, what they're taking, and say, now this is what I recommend, this is what I wouldn't recommend, this is
Based on the meds that they're currently
based on the meds they're taking and how they can start to do that. And then once they have that information,
Take that to
then go to the doctor and say, hey, I want to start trying this.
Okay.
Most doctors are okay with it. I haven't had a lot that are, they don't really understand them, but most of them are supportive.
Doesn't that bug you?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm having most doctors. Well, that actually comes from Rockefeller and Carnegie.
Yeah. They didn't,
Back
they
in
didn't
the
learn
day,
it. Mm-hmm.
if anybody wants to do the research about our current, system with, medicines, go back and look what those tyrants, Rockefeller and
Right.
Carnegie, and a few others did to change the way medicine was done back then. To make, Rockefeller and Carnegie, mostly Rockefeller, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know the story?
I
right?
do.
It's insidious, right?
Right.
Because back in the day, before those two knuckleheads got involved, things were much different and much, much, much more effective. Mm-hmm. Right? But I think we're now coming back to full circle.
We are.
Yeah.
I actually have a doctor who uses my DLPA. He's
Yeah.
in school. He's a third-year resident, and tryptophan.
Well, and I'm going to suggest to you right now that we're doing this now because of the current administration, because the previous knucklehead that I don't even think was human, I think he's, you know what I mean? There, Biden, evil, evil, really. Mm-hmm. Everything he did, everything they did, right?
Right.
Was to the detriment. Our current president, which I'm not just saying it because he, and moreover, a lot of the folks he's bringing in, and moreover, RFK.
Yeah.
That guy, he takes amino acids. He does, right? And so, now with this administration, we can actually take what we're talking about doing and really duplicating this.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we pretty much covered all of our bases. We introduced Rocky.
Yep.
Right?
Hi, Rocky.
We've given your information. And if anybody has any questions, they can call here at Beacon, 435-239-8768. And we can actually, give them some testimonials of my staff and myself as well. Okay?
Well, I get to give a little plug. Tony, you are amazing. I've heard so much about Beacon Recovery because one of my wholesalers is Jenny Lynn, who is his nurse. That's how we talked about how he's learned about me and this. But she has been talking about this center for so long and how much she loves it. And even before she, we added the amino acids in.
Yeah.
She was just like, this is a great center and your heart is in the right place.
Well, I had somebody tell me a couple weeks ago, Tony, you're a crusader because we do things that nobody else is doing, right? And I was supposed to be taking that as a compliment because that's how she meant it. But I was like, and I thought about this for a day or two, and I went back to her and I said, you know what? I am not a crusader. I'm an obeyer.
There you go.
Right? And
I am too.
Here's the thing. Seriously, I honestly don't know how I graduated high school. If I got a D, we were having a celebration, like for real. I'm not making that up. I'm not smart enough for this.
That's what I say.
I'm just not. I mean, but I am smart enough to do what I'm told, and I'm also in tune.
Right.
To be able to hear, feel what he has for me. So I do what I'm told, and it's difficult sometimes, right? We got to have faith, right? So this facility, Beacon Recovery, and I make no bones about it. And I say this quite often, and I believe it's the truth for everybody. I am nothing without Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
And I have everything because of Jesus Christ. It's in and through Jesus Christ. Period. Right? That is the answer. Mm-hmm. Because Jesus Christ is love.
It is love.
Can you imagine the love? My puny brain cannot comprehend the love that he has for me. Right?
Right.
And goodness gracious, how grateful I am that we have a Father in heaven that loves you and me so much that he sent his only son down here.
Right.
Right? To take on everything for us. What a beautiful plan, and how fortunate we are, which is why we're doing what we're doing. We are doing what we do for our brothers and sisters. Even though you and I were not raised in the same home, you're still my sister. We still share the same father and mother, Yeah, there. I said it. In heaven,
You're right.
right? We have heavenly parents.
Yes, we do.
We do. And I'm convinced that the reason we don't hear about our Heavenly Mother, just thinking about her moves me, is because he loves her so much. He's not going to have you jack with his wife,
Absolutely.
his partner, right? But she's real, and she loves us. And she, like him and our Savior, want nothing more than for us to come back. And we can't if we're doing drugs and alcohol and these things that are cloud. And if we're stuck in our whatever it is, that's why the amino acids ring true for me,
Yep.
because they work.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got through one without crying. That's good. I came close a couple times, but I mean, if the spirit doesn't move you, take some amino acids,
Yeah.
and it will. Thank you, Shelly Jo.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah. Okay.